Hey everybody, welcome back. Welcome back to another video. Hope you guys been enjoying the content on the channel as of late. We are going to talk about this trailer because I actually just watched it with my brother this morning. So I didn't do a reaction to this, but I heard that a Clayface trailer is potentially dropping today. So I will be doing a reaction to that. So I'm just kind of waiting on it to drop so I can see it. But in the meantime, we have this trailer that came out, and I feel like there's some stuff worth talking about, within the trailer and also just surrounding this production in general. All the stuff that kind of came about from it, and with Warner Brothers and all the other stuff. I think it's worth discussing. So we're going to talk about for a little bit the first trailer for Coyote versus Acme. Now, this is a new Looney Tunes-esque film that's coming out. It's coming out not through Warner Brothers, as you expected to. It's actually coming out through, I believe, what are they called? Catch-Up Entertainment, who also distributed, very similarly, another Looney Tunes film, The Day the Earth Blew Up, I think it's called, which was another Looney Tunes project that I believe was under Warner Brothers' jurisdiction, but then they decided to not distribute it, so they allowed somebody else to buy out the rights to distribute it, and Catch-Up Entertainment came along and did that. And it looks like they did the same thing here for Coyote vs. Acme. Now, there's obviously a little bit of history behind this film, because for those who don't know, this movie was actually filmed like 3 or 4 years ago, and it was gonna be canceled because WB didn't see any financial potential from it, and they had shelved it for, I think, like a good year or so, and eventually, due to probably outcries from the internet, they allowed just from I don't know, either the internet or insiders, I don't know, whoever made them change their decisions, but they decided to reverse that decision and allow those filmmakers to shop their film to other distributors, and Catch-Up Entertainment got a hold of it. So now, nearly 4 years later, after the movie has been shot, and about a year or two later, also since it was canceled, here we are now with the first trailer for said movie. Now, I do believe that this is a more pricey gamble this time around because of everything that happened with distribution. So I think the price has gone up a little bit for this. I think it's sitting now around like 70 or 80 million. In order to, gain the distribution rights, WB I think put up a price tag for it or something like that. Could be wrong. But we got our first trailer. Now, first and foremost, I believe in recent years, I think this is like the third time that fan outcry or just the internet in general has kind of influenced a lot of the decision makings on movies or financial decisions on these fronts. First of which, of course, was the Snyder Cut, with Zack Snyder's Justice League. For years, people advocating for the cut to come out, then eventually WB deciding to put out that cut, and people forget that reasoning was not solely to do with fans. It was also because, hey, we have a streaming service that's coming out and we need something to market with it. And that was way before the whole HBO Max same day release strategy took place, so that was their big thing that they were going to push until everything else happened, pandemic and all that other jazz. So and then the same day release stuff kind of taking precedent. But that's the first thing, which, came from fans. And then, of course, there was the whole Sonic the Hedgehog situation where, there was the original design, which, people did not like, and people were saying what they said online, and they were able to get the design changed. And now here we are once again with Coyote vs. Acme, where we had a studio who, for all intents and purposes, this is not the first time they did these tax write-off sort of stuff. It happened twice. Prior to this, we had the whole infamous Batgirl situation. simultaneously with the Scoob sequel. It was called Holiday Hunt. Now, in all these decisions, right, people have to remember also, um, these were all financially motivated decisions. Okay, these were decisions based off of the performance that these movies would do financially, and also by the quality of which was being known about by test screenings. Because all these movies individually got test screened, and bless me. As far as I've read, Batgirl did not get a strong reception, so based off of that, and probably just by just what they saw in terms of its potential, they decided to let that go, to get that canceled. Same thing with Scoob, and similarly with Coyote versus Acme. From what I've heard from test screenings, people weren't so strong on it, so that's why they also probably thought, well, let's not release this thing. And here we are now. Here we are now with a different company now taking on the distribution rights. And no doubt, I'm pretty sure WB will get a piece of what Coyote vs. Acme ends up making at the box office. But was it worth it? Was it worth it at the end of the day? I think the answer comes in two. There's the yes, because I think it's good to see, looking at it from the filmmaker's point of view. It's obviously nice to see their work getting released. When you put in a lot of time into something, and to see it not come to fruition, it can be a bit disappointing. So it's nice to see that it is actually coming out and people will actually now get to see it. So that's a positive. In some ways, I wish that happened to Batgirl and Scoob as well. I wish that they would have come out just for, preserving, what it is that those filmmakers had, created. But again, it's all a financial decision. This is a business at the end of the day. So if they don't see any real opportunity to make money, then I don't condone or frown, look down on the company for making a decision like that. It's their movie at the end of the day. So, but it's nice, it's nice when those visions do eventually see the light of day. Like the Snyder Cut, Then there's the part of me that goes, not really, because of what I saw in the trailer. This doesn't look particularly good if you're looking at it objectively. If you take away, all the noise surrounding it, if you take away all the, all the stuff, behind the scenes, I don't. On two fronts, it doesn't look particularly good to me. I just think that it looks very without substance, and I know people go, it's a Looney Tunes movie. It's like, yeah, but film is still film, right? And I still want to see some sort of merit, taking shape. I just don't see that here. It just seems like there's a lot of random stuff happening for the sake of random stuff happening. It doesn't seem like there's a real consistent flow happening here. And it seems like they've restructured a lot of what that original idea was, because now it's kind of catering to this meta idea of Acme, which is basically WB in this framework, and how how their products are not so great, or isn't it just bad how they say, like, as the WB logo comes up, they say like something like a subsidiary of the Acme Corporation, just highlighting what the journey to getting the movie on the big screen. They're kind of just highlighting that in the trailer, and I wonder if that's going to be a part of the movie, like if that's like a big part of it. I don't know, but it seems like there were some reshoots, so that's also adding to the budget as well. But as it stands, just like it's not looking particularly good. I like Looney Tunes. I like the original cartoons. I always liked Bugs Bunny. I'm not like completely well versed on all those characters. I'm familiar with Wile E. Coyote and Roadrunner, but it just doesn't look that particularly good, you know? I don't think that, like, to be honest with you, I saw the trailer a few hours ago, and it hasn't really dawned on me. Like, I haven't really, like, it just went over my head, you know? So, it's not something where I was like, "Oh, yeah, this is really, like, funny and creative and stuff like that." Like, if there's any trailer that's been sitting on my mind lately, it's actually the trailer for the film, what is it, Idiots? If you haven't seen that trailer, go check it out. It's actually, I think, fairly funny, and I'm actually looking forward to that. It's to say that it doesn't leave much of an impression, and I just don't see where a lot of people also will care to want to see it, 'Cause I doubt that WB is going to put up any marketing for it, and Catch Up Entertainment being relatively a smaller company, I just don't think that they're going to have the resources to really put up a big marketing campaign, nor should they, because of just how much this movie has cost at this point with reshoots and gaining distribution rights to get the thing theatrical. I think financially it's going to prove much of anything, you know. So on one hand, it's nice to see that a vision is coming to fruition. That's always a good thing, regardless of how I feel about it. I mean, it's good to see it, out there and that people can actually see it, right? I do question, kind of like the Snyder Cut. I do question how much of the original version of the movie is actually in here versus doing the reshoots and doing the restructuring, and now it's kind of a new thing now. I kind of question that, but still, what was filmed and just it being as it stands, having it out there is always nice because it's, again, hard work that was being put into it. So to have it released, is in and of itself a nice, happy, ending for said journey of making a movie. I just don't see much to really get excited about in terms of a trailer. I just don't see a whole lot. Unless people are saying Who Framed Roger Rabbit, but I'm like, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, I think, just had a lot more going for it as far as I remember of it. I don't think that this is the case here. It kind of just, it just doesn't have a lot. It just seems very stale. It seems very just kind of flat, and it doesn't have a lot of like charm. It just seems very just flat in terms of its overall demeanor, its overall just feeling of said mood. Just not a whole lot there. So I'm happy for people who, for the people, behind the movie, getting it finally out, that's great. And I guess people who supported, getting the movie out there, that's, I guess, a good thing. I always say, like, leave these decisions to the business people. I mean, it's like, we could agree or disagree, but, it's like for us to intervene on those decisions, like, I don't know, because it's ultimately their decision at the end of the day. So for us to kind of, intervene in that way, I don't know, it just feels kind of weird for me. But yeah, I don't know. I saw it and it just kind of went by. It just kind of went over my head. So yeah. But you guys, let me know your thoughts on the whole Coyote versus Acme situation. Do you guys plan on checking it out? Personally, not really. I don't really. I mean, if my brother wants to, sure, but I'm not really caring to see it. But you guys, what are your thoughts? Let me know all your thoughts related to Coyote versus Acme in the comment section below. And that's gonna be it for this video, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'll catch you guys in the next video where we will be reacting to the Clayface trailer. So stay tuned for that. So until then, I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye.